Nice. Okay. Let me open the homework. All right. So let's look at 10. Let's look at 10 first. Okay. So this is on the left hand side over here. Then let me launch the PowerPoint. Okay, good. So let me put them side by side. All right. So I heard that you have moved house. So how is your new house? Love it. Okay, nice. So can I ask you what time you can reach home on Monday? Earliest? So that I can plan my time for next week if I go to your house and have our face-to-face lesson. 4? Okay, so then I will plan 4:15 to 4:30. All right. Okay, good. So thanks for informing. All right. So let me zoom into this. Okay, for questions like this, okay, we talk about how you can actually factorize or the technique of factorization. So I'm going to show it one more time here. And by the way, this is a recorded video, so you can always refer to this recorded video after our lesson. Okay, good. So let's talk about factorization. Okay, let's talk about how we can use factorization to simplify a long expression or equation. Okay, so number one. So so I want you to understand what is a expression versus an equation. Okay, so can you give me an example of expression and example of equation? You have any idea? So this is an equation. 1 times 2 is an equation. 1 times 2 is equal to 2 is an equation. Why? Because there is an equal sign. So you can call this an equation. Okay, so over here you have this 2 to the power of 2 times 4 is equal to 16. What is the difference between the two examples you give? I don't see any difference. You have a square. Okay, so you are telling me, okay, over here you have a square. You have a square, so it's an expression. So anything with a square is an expression. Are you trying to give me a set face? So what's an equation? Okay, so all right, so you are okay, so you have erased your equal to 16. All right, okay, you have erased your this equal 16. Okay, and okay, so you are not entirely right. So let me just explain to you the difference between an expression and equation. Okay, so expression, okay, and equation. Okay, let's talk about what's an equation. Okay, for you to have an equation, so it's very clear cut. You need to have an equal sign. Okay, so as long as you have an equal sign, so you can call that an equation. So equations like 1 times 2 is equal to 2. So you are right. Okay, you gave an example of an equation 1 times 2 is equal to 2. All right, and then of course you can have 2x plus 1 is equal to 5. So this is also an equation. All right, so as long as okay you have an equal sign, okay, then you have an equation. All right, okay, that's the first concept for equation. Okay, next, so let me just erase your annotation first. Okay, so let's talk about an expression. Okay, so you gave a 2 squared times 4. Okay, by the way, you gave 2 squared times 4. So strictly speaking, this is not an expression. Okay, expression means you need to have a unknown letter. Okay, so or you can call it you have an unknown. At least one unknown. Okay, so what's the meaning of one unknown? Okay, so you can have like 2a minus 5 or 3. Okay, so a is an unknown. Unknown means not known. All right. Okay, so so over here 2a minus 3. So a is an unknown. So you have an expression. All right. So another example of an expression is you can give yourself 5x minus 3, and then of course you can bracket this and then you can continue like 4x plus 5. So this is also an expression. All right. So this is the first example of expression, and this is the second example of an expression. Okay. So at least you have one unknown. So over here the unknown is x. Okay. So over here x is an unknown. Unknown means is something not known. Okay. All right. So after this example or after this slide, so I hope you have a very good understanding of the difference between expression and equation. Okay. Why I need to talk about this difference between expression and equation? Because if you cannot identify the difference, and then you will end up with problems later on. So let me show you what problems you will end up with later on. All right, so let me just clear this first. So let me just go out and come back to the PowerPoint. So we talk about expression versus equation. Okay, so I'm going to give you an expression which is 5x over 2 plus 4x over 3. And I'm going to give you an equation. 5x over 2 is equal to 4x over 4. All right. So clearly this is an expression because I see an unknown x and there is no equal sign. All right. So for this is an equation. Why? Because there is an equal sign. Okay. So once you have identified this is an expression and then this is an equation, then you can start to combine this expression. Okay, so you can combine this expression by making the denominator the same, right? So you can actually times a 3 here. Okay, let me not confuse you with times and cross. So let me just use a dot. So you can 3 times 5x and 3 times 2 here, and you can 2 times 3, 2 times 4x. So with this, you end up with 15x here, and then you end up with 8x, and of course you have your 6 here, and you have your 6 here. And after getting into the same denominator, you can combine them together. Then you will get your 25, 823 x over 6. All right, and then of course you can go ahead and simplify this. Okay, or you can choose not to. If you choose to go and simplify it, you should end up with 3 and then 5 over 6x. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, but with an equation below, so we're actually talking about this. So what you can do is make the denominator same. So the first step is make the denominator same. So over here you have 2, over here you have 4. So you can make this 2 times 2, and then over here must 2 times 5x. So above you get 10x. And over here you get 4. And once you have the same denominator and this is an equation, what you can do, you can use delete. So once you delete the 4x, once you delete the 4 and below, and then you want to delete the 4 on the right, so you end up with 10x over 4x. Okay, by the way, this doesn't make sense, so just get rid of 1x. So it's 10x is equal to 4, and then x is equal to 4 over 10, and then if you simplify it, you get 0.4. So can you see how you will do these two questions differently? So if it's an expression, okay, you can't delete the same denominator. Okay, you retain. Okay, if in this expression, you retain the denominator. Okay, if it's an equation, okay, you don't need to retain the denominator. You eliminate the denominator and you continue to solve for x. Are you clear? So the short summary is, for an expression versus equation, okay, so both if they have the same denominators, okay, so for an expression, okay, you retain means, okay, you don't delete it. So for an equation, you can eliminate the denominators. So are you clear? A lot of students, they make this mistake, okay, I think including you, okay, last time. So I hope from today onwards, okay, you just you are aware of this difference, and then you will not make the common mistakes like other students. Are you clear about this concept? Okay, so you say yes. So hopefully I will not see these mistakes are made by you. All right. Okay, then we can actually look at question 111 here. Okay, over here they talk about factorize the following expression. So by the way, all these are expressions. So you can actually see that they are all expressions because there is no equal sign. I don't see any equal sign for 3 of this, right? Then of course you also don't see there is at least one unknown. So in this case, this x is the unknown. Over here, f is the unknown, e is the unknown, at least one. So for question 2 here, you have 2 unknowns. Okay, so over here you have a, b, c, so 3 unknowns. Okay, so these are all expressions. All right, so how do you factorize? So the meaning of factorize is take out common factor. Okay, so take out common factor. Okay, before I talk about this slide, right, I met using on last Saturday, and they were talking about factors of 16. So how do you get the factors of 16? So you can do it like this. So 16 is equal to 1 times 16, and you can also choose 2 times 8. You can also choose 4 times 4, and of course you can choose 8 times 2. By the way, 8 times 2 is same as 2 times 8 with 2 in front and then 8 at the back, and then 8 in front and 2 at the back. They are the same pair. So I stop. So over here, factors of 16, okay, you can have 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. So all these are factors of 16. Okay, so you need to make use of this concept. Okay, you need to make use of this concept. So you have 16. Okay, you can split the 16 into 1 16. You can split it to 2 times 8. You can split it to 4 times 4. Okay, so these are all the factors of 16. So similarly, if you have this 16x minus 4. So for 16x minus 4, right? So it's very simple. You can split your 16 to 1 times 16. right? We just talk about it. You can split it to 2 times 8. You can also split it to 4 times 4. Okay, then of course you have this x. X you can't split it further. So x is x. So now you have this 4. So 4 you can split it to 2 times 2. You can also split it to 1 times 4. So now the question is, which pairs you choose for 16x? Which pair you choose for this? Can you put a small tick in front of the pair you want to choose? So basically you have this 3 to choose from. Which pair you choose for 16x? Okay, the last one. Okay, good. So if you choose the last one for 16x, right? Then can I ask you which pair you choose for your this 4? You choose the first one. Okay, so let's look at it. So for 16x, you are saying choose the last one. So it's 4 times x. So for 4 is 2 times 2. Then now the question is, if you have split your 16x into this, 4 into 2 and 2, then my question is, can you see anything common between these? Anything common? This is 4x. This is 2 times 2. Anything common? I don't see anything common. Okay, you want to simplify it further. Okay, so then if you want to simplify it further, then you might as well take the 2 times 8 times x. So you might as well take the 2 times 8 times x. Then with this, at least I see a common. Which one is common? You see a 2 is common. Right? Okay, this is one way to look at this question. But what about, why not you choose 4x and 1 times 4? Let's see how this choice will proceed. Okay, so if we choose 4x for 16x and then 1 times 4 for 4, so actually I can see 4 is common, right? So let me proceed with this choice first. Then I will proceed with this second choice. So if 4 is common, simple. Hold on, let me just move this above. I don't want to move this. I'll move the below one. So it should be 4 times x. And 4 is common. So if 4 is common, then I just take out the common 4. And then I have 4x left. If I've taken out the 4 from the 4, I get 1 left. So minus sign is in between, so for minus sign. So I will get this. Let me just put it above 1 times 4. So 4 is common. So I have taken out the common factor 4. So if I have taken out 4 from this combination, okay, I have 4x left. So I put my 4x here. And then the minus is in between. Then I put a minus. And then if I have taken out 4 from this, then I'm left with the 1. So this is the 1. So I put the 1 here. So this is one factorization I can do. Okay, this is the first choice. So let's see what we can do for our second choice, which is here. Okay, so if we decide 2 times 8 times x and 2 times 2, and then 2 is common, right? So let's see how we can actually proceed with this. So 2 is common. So I take out the 2. So if I take out the 2, I have 8x left. And minus sign is in between. So I put a minus sign. And then if I have taken out the 2, so I have 2 left. So you will end up with this. Okay. So my next question is, if you have taken out 2, right? In fact, this is not the simplest. The reason is for this 8x, you can actually continue to do 2, 4x. And then for this, you can continue to do the 2 times 1. And you still see that even after you have taken out the 2, inside the bracket here, you still can take out another 2. Okay? So if you take out the 2 again, so the 2 is gone. So you put it in front out of the bracket. So you end up with 4x. End up with 4x. And over here you end up with 1. So you end up with 4x, end up with 1. So 2 times 2 is 4. So in fact, the best and the fastest way to do this question is take out the 4. Because ultimately, your answer will be this. You see, ultimately your answer is this. They will converge. They will reach the same answer. Okay, but the first choice here is faster. The second choice here is slower. And some of the students, they can't see, and then they just stop at 2 bracket 8x minus 2. So this is wrong. Okay, because this is not the simplest. Okay, so therefore the answer for this question is this. Okay. All right. So let me not discuss the second question and the third question. Let me talk about 112 first, because I see from 112 to 112A is another easier question for you to quickly consolidate your knowledge after talking about 111A. So over here, you look at this. You can split this to 5px. Then over here, you can split it to 5 times 9 times p times another p. By the way, p squared is p times p. Okay. So now, can you see that you have 5p in common? So if you have 5p in common, very easy. So take out 5p. So once you have taken out 5p, you have x left, which is here. And then plus is in between. So you put a plus in between. And then you have this q, and this is a times. Okay. So you have this qp left. So you just write qp. So this is the answer for 112A, which is this. And you are wrong. Are you wrong? Yes, you are wrong. Okay. So hopefully with this question, and with this question, okay, you start to appreciate, or you start to know how to factorize. Okay, to factorize, you have to take out common, okay, common factors. Okay, so once you have taken out the common factors, and then you just write down what is left. So are you clear? Are you clear by now? Okay, so you say yes, so we can actually take a look at another question, which is 113A. I want to start easy first. I want to go fast, because if I go fast and then you don't understand, what's the point, right? So first thing first, what is common? Or at least, how do you split this question? Okay, can you do it? Can you do it on this white canvas? And then show me like like how you can actually solve like what I have done here and here. Okay, so can you show me how you can actually do this question? So you can actually do it here on this white canvas. Okay, go ahead. Again, grab a glass of water. $18, $80. What's that? I don't understand. This is B, this is B. This is B, not plus. This is B, boy. This is also boy. By the way, you are asked to factorize. You are not asking. Okay. By the way, you are not asking. Okay. So I think you are trying to do this. Hold on. So students also get you are asked to factorize means you have to split this term. You have to split this term. Okay. Instead, what you are trying to do just now is you try to open the brackets. Did you try to open the brackets just now? Okay, so if you open the bracket, your first arrow is 3ab plus 9a, then minus 5b squared, then minus 5b, then plus 3 minus 15b. So is this factorization? Is this factorization? No, right? Why not? Because if you end up with this, right? The question I ask you is, you are supposed to take out the common factor. Factorize means what? Take out common factor. This is not, I don't see any attempt by you to take out common factor. You are not taking out any common factor, but you are actually doing what? By opening the brackets, you are actually doing expansion. Okay? You are actually doing expansion. So if the question change, not factorize, they say expand. If they say expand, then you go and open the brackets. Okay? So if the question asks you to expand, then you're supposed to expand it by opening brackets, and then you should end up with this. And then you see whether you have opportunity to simplify. If you don't have opportunity to simplify, then this is the answer. After expansion. Are you clear? So expansion and factorization, they are not the same. Okay, so for this, to factorize, so the definition of factorization is take out common factor. Right? So before you can take out common factor, you have to find the factors of this first. So what are the factors of this? I can see a 3 times an a times, I cannot break these up, they're together, so I just put them together. Right? Then for this one, the 5b bracket b plus 3, I can see that I can see a 5, I can see a b, and then I can see a b plus 3. Right? Then I start to see what? I start to see b plus 3 is common. Right? So I can see b plus 3 is common. So I can see b plus 3 is common. So I take out b plus 3. So I have taken out b plus 3 from the first term. I'm left with 3a. And then minus is in between. So I put a minus to separate the 3a from the 5b. So this is my answer after factorization. So are you clear? Are you clear? So when you are asked to do factorization, right, you need to get the factors of the first term and get the factors of the second term. Okay, how do you get the factors? You can split them into individual element. Okay, similarly, you do the same thing for this question. Okay, you do the same thing for this question. Okay, you also split this 16x into 4x, split the 4 into 1, 4. So you can see that you have a 4 in common. So you take out 4 in common. So you end up with this. Okay, similarly, you split the 5px into individual element. So 5px, you split this 45p squared into 5, 9p times p. So once you have split the terms into individual element, take out the common factors, 5p here in this case. So once you have taken out 5p, you are left with x, and then plus is between, then over here is 9p, not q. This is 9. All right. So yes, that's how you factorize. Okay. So before I go to the harder questions, I want to make sure that you understand the easy questions first. Okay. And I'm afraid that you make a mistake for the easy questions. Let me see which one is easier for me to talk about. Okay, let's talk about the 122 question 122 here. Okay, before I talk about the harder questions. So for 122, 1 plus x plus 2 or plus over 3 plus x minus 5 over 4. Okay, clearly what? This is an expression. This is an expression. So you are not supposed to delete the denominator. So you are supposed to retain the denominator. All right, you still remember our the first yeah, over here. Okay, you're supposed to retain for expression. Okay, you can eliminate for equation. Okay, so we are dealing with an expression here. This is the expression. So we need to retain the denominator. All right. So I think, yeah, for this question, let me show you my way of doing it first. So like I say, you make it the same denominator, right? So your 1 here, you can express 1 as 1 over 1. Okay. So 1 is a whole number. So you can actually express any whole number in a fraction format. So 1 as a whole number is equal to 1 over 1 as a fraction. And then 2 is equal to 2 over 1 as a fraction. So 3 is equal to a 3 over 1 as a fraction. Okay. So which means, let me just clear your handwriting. So which means, okay, any whole number you are given, you can transform it into a fraction format. So this is fraction. This is a whole number. Okay. So if next time you are given a, if I ask you to transform a into a fraction, so it will be a over 1. Okay. So that's how you transform it into fraction. Okay. So that's how I transform my 1 here into 1 over 1. Why I want to transform it into 1 over 1, I'm going to explain to you. You will see it later on. Okay. So once I get my 1 into 1 over 1, so I'm going to write it here. And then I have this x plus 2 over 3. And then I have this 2x minus 5 over 4. Okay, in fact, before I want to change the denominator into a common factor, a lot of students, they say, oh, since I have 1, 3, 4. So that means the common factor should be 12. So I quickly use 12 times 1, 12 times 1. And then over here, I use 4 times, and then 4 times. And then over here, I use 3 times and 3 times, right? A lot of students will do this, okay? I'm not saying this is wrong, but not entirely right. Okay, the reason is if you don't do this first, that means you don't decide, oh, the common denominator is going to be 12. So what you can actually do here is, can you not see you have a 2 here, you have a 4 here? So what is the opportunity here for you to simplify? So if you have a 2 above, you have a 4 below, can you see that your 4 you can actually split to 2 times 2? So if you split 4 to 2 times 2, can't you see you have a 2 above, you have a 2 below? You can actually cancel it. You can cancel the 2 first. So once you cancel the 2, the simplest or the common denominator is no longer 12. The common denominator is going to be 6. All right. So if the common denominator is 6, then you go ahead and this is 6 over 6. This is 2x plus 4. So you open the brackets, over 6. And then you have 2x minus 15. This is 6. And then you continue, you combine. This is the expression, so you retain the denominator. So you have 6 plus 2x minus plus 4 plus 3x minus 15. So if you simplify it further, you get 6 and combine similar term. I like to highlight the similar term, so I get 5x above. And then 10 minus 15 is minus 5. So this is the answer. So you look at my answer and compare to your answer. Your answer is not right. Are you clear? So what did I do just now? Okay, I see an opportunity to factorize the 4, and I see the opportunity to simplify after the factorization. Okay, for this question. So, which means if you can factorize and simplify, you do it first. Okay, if you can factorize and simplify, well, this is simply, I'm sorry, so simplify. You do it first. You always factorize and simplify first if you can do it first. Are you clear? Are you clear? All right, okay, yes. All right, so you can look at the other question, which you also have an opportunity to simplify, which is 118. Okay, let me just do 118. So 118 is, question 118 is x plus 3 over 3 minus 2x minus 4 over 4. By the way, sometimes the question is not so clear cut for you to simplify, for you to factorize and simplify. So you need to be good at factorization. Okay, when you do enough, then factorization should always come to your mind first. Okay. These days, when I look at questions, I always look for the opportunity to factorize and simplify first. All right. Simplify means you simplify the task before you continue to work on it. Okay. All right. So for this question, so for this, I can't do anything. For the first time, I can't do anything. Okay. A lot of students, they might think, oh, I have a 3 below, I have the 4 below. So the common denominator is going to be 12, right? So a lot of students, they will do this. Okay. I'm not saying this is wrong, but this is not right, entirely right. All right. Let me show you my way. of doing it. Okay, by the way, this is an expression. Let me just remind you, this is an expression. So I need to retain the denominator. Okay, so for the first term, I don't see any opportunity to factorize and simplify. But for this one, I see an opportunity because for this one, I can see that I can split 2 and x into 2 times x. And 4, I can split to 2 times 2. Then with this, I can see a common factor 2. Right? So let me do it for the above. So if I take out 2, I'm left with x. And then minus sign is in between. So the second one, I'm left with 2. So the numerator is factorized into this. And then denominator, no change. And once you factorize the denominator into this, and then I think now you see an opportunity to simplify, right? Why? Because you see that your 4, you can also get it into 2 times 2. So once you transform it into 2 times 2, then you can actually delete the 2. Because you have 2 above, you have 2 below, you can actually delete the 2. Am I right? Then if you delete the 2 above and below, now you can actually, or you realize that the common denominator is actually 6. So let me continue. So you will have let me open the brackets here. So it's 2x plus 6 over 6. And this will be 3x minus, so it's 3x minus 6 over 6. Okay, so let me continue on the next slide. So the key here is what? The key here is this is minus. This minus the entire 3x minus 6. So I need to put a bracket. Remember the bracket here. It's important. Without a bracket, you are wrong. Okay, the minus sign here, right? We talked about it last time. We talked about it previously. All right, the minus sign here is you are going to minus the entire thing here. So you minus the entire thing here, you're going to put a bracket, okay, to represent that. So you have this 2x plus 6. So you arrow in and out. I mean, you arrows, the first arrow is minus 3x. The second arrow, you will get minus 6. Okay, so you continue, is 2x plus 6 minus 3x. Minus becomes plus. So let me simplify the above. So similar term, 2x minus 3x plus 6 plus 6. So plus 6 plus 6 is 12. 2x minus 3x minus x. So the answer is this. Are you clear? Can you see my answer is very different from your answer? Okay. So what do you learn from this example? This example and the previous example is that if you see opportunity to simplify, you simplify first. So once you simplify, you can get the common denominator. Okay, then you continue. Okay, as per normal. All right. So I think I looked through some of the questions here, and the rest you might not have opportunity to simplify. You might not have opportunity to factorize and simplify before you go ahead. Okay, the rest should be you should be correct. But let me just pick question 130 just to see if your answer is correct. By the way, 130 over here, I don't see any opportunity to factorize and simplify. So let me see if you make any careless mistake. Okay, let me just work this out. So I can see that 3, 4, 6. So the common factor is 12. So you times a 4 here. So you times the 3. Okay, over here, it's not. So you can put it at the back. Okay, so in order not to make mistakes, I always like to show every step. Okay, so I have so I can simplify this. Since I'm using technology, I can quickly just erase it. So I have 8x plus 8. This is 12. Then I have this show the arrow, so I will not miss out. This is 12. This is 2x 12. So I can combine it. Okay, once again, there is a minus sign here, so I need to put a bracket. Okay, so 8x plus 8, 12. So I can combine them together. All right, so let me just clear your handwriting. Okay, so now I can open the brackets. This is my first arrow, in the second arrow, so I continue. My first arrow I did minus 3x. The second arrow is minus 6 plus 2x. So minus x, 6 is plus x. So combine similar term, 8x minus plus. So I should have 5x, 7x plus 14 over 12. Okay, so far so good. So your answer is, okay, you are wrong. Most likely, you did not put the bracket, you end up with minus 6, I guess. No, even you minus 6, you should end up with 2. So where do you go wrong? Yeah, you see, you have no working. I can't figure out where you went wrong. All right, or did I make any mistake? Did I make any mistake somewhere? I doubt so. I think most likely you make a mistake. All right. Okay. So yeah. So this is the answer for question 130. Okay. 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 Let me just do one more. Let me just do one more, because I see that all these, right, all these expressed, all these fractions into a simplest form, they are kind of like repeated. Okay, same concepts but repeated, more exercise for you only. Let me just pick 128b. Okay, let me show you 128b. Okay, this question I think is super easy, because the common denominator should be 2. I mean 6. So you 2 times. So over here, I don't skip any step. Okay. By the way, you need to use an equal sign here. So it's 6 below. 2y minus 3 over 6. Yes. So you have a minus sign here. So you have to bracket it. So as long as you have a minus sign, bracket the term behind. So now you can combine them together. So open the brackets. So first bracket minus 2y, second bracket minus 3, minus 3 is plus 3. So combine similar term. So minus 1 over 6. Yeah, it's minus 1 over 6. Your answer is 1 over 6. So once again, you're wrong. All right. Okay, so you have to be extra careful. Okay, by the way, your mom talked about you are going to have a, they call it what? They call it a test, right? Know you diagnostic, yes. Diagnostic test. So when is that? This week, right? But when? Tomorrow. Okay, good. So what do you expect out of the diagnostic? I read the message, so I also want to know like what do you expect from the P6? I think they are going to give you some of this algebra. Okay, so I think they are going to give you mostly P6 and some of all these. These are called algebra. Okay, of course this is not the basic algebra. Okay, I'm talking about the one on the left, the one I'm actually moving. I'm actually scrolling up and down. So they're going to give you some of this. Okay, because they want to know who in your class, okay, has learned things ahead of your class. Okay, that's my take. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong, but my take is they're going to give you some of these questions. So if they're going to give you some of these questions, so the more you need to know that factorization, which is here, the more you need to know that how to combine two fractions into a single fraction. Okay, so if they give you questions like this, you better not make mistakes like what you did just now. Okay, so you better show your steps like this. Okay, and if you have a minus sign, you better put a bracket for the behind term. And then once you have the bracket, when you open the bracket, show the first arrow and second arrow to minimize your chance of making a mistake. Okay, because I start to see you have a very high chance to make mistakes. Okay, the few questions I picked from this, we're talking about homework 10. A few questions that I picked from homework 10, I picked like 6, and then you got 5 wrong. So your chances of getting wrong is pretty high, 90% and above, because of the kind of mistakes you make. Okay, mistakes like this, you have a minus sign, you better put a bracket at the for the behind term. And then if you see an opportunity to simplify, you simplify first before you go ahead here. Okay, and of course, the concept of factorization here, take out the common factor. Okay, and the concept of expansion, which is discussed here. The concept of expansion. I mean, expansion means open the brackets, expand it. So when you expand it, you end up with more terms. Can you see? You end up with more terms. Okay, so my feel is the diagnostic test is going to see who has learned things ahead of your class, and then they will choose to put your class into different no, they will not put your class into different categories, but somehow they will pick the so-called the ones who score very high for the diagnostic test. They will let them participate in the infinity program, right? So infinity program means, you know what's the meaning of infinity? You know? Yes, that's the meaning. I mean, this is the symbol for infinity. But what's the meaning? Infinity program means there is no end to it. Forever. Infinity means there is no end to it. Okay, meaning while your class will take the normal syllabus. Okay, syllabus like this. Okay, those who score very high in the diagnostic test tomorrow, they are going to be exposed to probably questions from Sec 2. Okay, so basically infinity program means they want to choose the, I would say, the fast learners. They will let the fast learners learn even faster. Okay, then for the not so fast learners, then they will just let you take the the usual path. Okay, then you will just study with the class and then study the normal curriculum. Okay, so if you think that you want to join this infinity program, then you better do a bit of revision later on after the lesson. Just watch this recorded video, the parts that you find that is important to you, then you just watch that, and then I think you should be ready for tomorrow's diagnostic test. Okay. All right. So in fact, we have learned ahead of your class already. Okay. You should be well equipped to take the diagnostic test tomorrow. All right. But of course, you have to minimize the mistakes. Okay. For algebra manipulation. All right. Okay. You see, this is the most common problem. Okay. Question 119. What is the okay? I did not do any calculation. I only know that your question 119 is wrong. What was wrong? Question 119. Your answer is 7x plus 4. So what have you done? You go and delete the you can try again, but what I'm trying to say is you can try again, but your first mistake is so clear. You go and eliminate the denominator while you are not supposed to, right? Why you're not supposed to? Delete the denominator because this is an expression. Yeah, this is not equation. Okay, so I will let you try 119 right now, right here on this white canvas. Okay, please do it here. Is my camera still on? Oh yeah, my camera is still on. You don't have to jump steps, just do it step by step. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I think you make a small mistake here. The plus sign here. I think for this one you should 8 minus 7, so it's minus 56 instead. Because you will get this one 8x minus 7, right? So you should have 8x minus 56, yeah, not plus. You know what I mean? Yeah, you see, you can't afford to make mistakes like this. All right, because if the minus sign will apply later on. The minus sign will apply at, I mean, for this step. I'm not talking about this step yet. I'm not talking about this is your step 2, this is your step 1. I'm talking about step 1. Step 1 has to be minus. You don't jump steps. Are you clear? You don't seem like you are clear. All right, so adjust all the necessary, just adjust accordingly. I'm talking about your step one, which is this your step one. Your step one is wrong for this. It's not supposed to be plus. It's supposed to be minus. Okay, then continue. Yeah, continue. So second step is correct. Continue. Okay, I think you make a mistake somewhere. Okay, so you see, you have this tendency to go a few steps ahead of what you should be. Okay, I don't know why you rush. Okay, I hope you learn one thing from me throughout all these years. Okay, I know I'm quite good at mathematics, but I seldom jump steps. Okay, I seldom jump steps. Okay, I lay out every single step because I know that it's very easy to make mistakes. I'm not saying I don't make mistakes. I'm saying if you skip steps, the chances of making mistakes, okay, is very high. Okay, let me show you. Before I show you where you have gone wrong, even after the first mistake. Okay, here. Okay, let me just save this first. I can clear your handwriting already because I have screenshot your mistake. Okay. If you want to score, don't skip steps. Remember that. By the way, you have moved to set one. Questions are more complicated. It's easier to make mistakes. So the more you need to lay out all the steps. Okay, 119. Number one, let me just copy the question down. So like I say, this is an expression. Tell myself this is an expression. Retain the denominator. Okay. So I see that I have 4, I have 5. I see no opportunity to simplify, factorize, and simplify. So I continue with making the denominator the same. So I never skip steps. I write down what I need to do. So 5 times I show the arrow. And here I can actually erase this to get my 8. I show the arrow. Okay, so once I get the arrows, I get 15x above, minus 10 above, 20 below. This will be 8x minus 56, 10 over 20. So that's how I get minus 56. Okay, versus as opposed to your plus 56 at first just now. Okay, so you're supposed to get minus 56. That's your first step. Okay, the minus sign will come in later on. Okay, the minus sign will come in later on. So, okay, so when you have a minus sign here, you apply the bracket to the term behind. So now you go and combine it. So you have 15x minus 10. So before I open the bracket, I better copy down the entire question first. Then I show the first arrow and then the second arrow. So what I get, so it's 15x minus 10 minus 8x, first arrow, second arrow, minus 56. So minus minus plus. So Now, what I need to do, combine similar term, I make use of a highlighter to help me. So 15x minus 8x, 7x. And I let my calculator to do this calculation for me. Minus 10 plus 56. Minus 10 plus 56.
The answer is 46.
Answer is 46. All right, so it's 46 over 20. I don't know how you get minus 66. How do you get minus 66? I have no idea. Probably you skip steps and then somehow you end up with minus 10 and then minus 56 here. Probably you end up with, I don't know actually. I don't know. I can only make a guess. You end up with minus 10 and then minus 56. Therefore, you end up with this minus 56. And you are not supposed to end up with minus 56 because minus minus, you end up with plus. Okay, so I have warned you enough not to skip steps and do it step by step. Okay, when you are supposed to put the arrow to guide you along, please do so. Okay, when you reach a certain level, then probably you want to skip all these steps. But I don't think you have reached that level of expertise yet. Okay, even I myself, I show every single step. Okay, to so-called prevent myself from making silly mistakes. All right. All right. So now the choice is yours. Whether you want to like hit my this advice, or you want to go ahead with your way of doing things. All right. Okay, good. So before we go ahead, so we can take a brief 5-minute break, then we come back and then we will have a second half. All right. No response. Your response. Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. So I will see you in 5 minutes. All right. Okay, welcome back. All right. Let me share my screen. Okay, good. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so we talk about what you can do to make sure that you don't make silly mistakes or unnecessary mistakes. All right. Okay. The only way to do that is lay out all your steps. Okay. Never skip any step. Okay. And do it. Okay. Show all your steps. Okay. Okay. I hope you understand the your fallibility. Okay. Or the how easy you can fall. Okay. Especially when you reach step 1. And we are talking about this complicated algebraic manipulation. All right. So the more you need to be careful. So the more you need to, the more steps you need to lay out so that you don't make silly mistakes. All right. So yeah. So I'm not going to go through the rest of the questions. All right. I find that they are similar, but I'm going to talk about the factorization part. So we have talked about factorization of 2 terms mainly. Okay. So let me show you what do I mean by that factorization of 2 terms. So over here for this question, so you have one term, you have the second term. So it's 2 terms factorization. And then of course you also have this. This is the first term. This is the second term. So once again, this is a question of 2 terms factorization. Okay, so now we will move on to more than 2 terms. Okay, even the question here is 2 terms. Okay, why? This is your first term. This is your second term. Okay, this is also a 2 terms factorization. Okay, so I'm going to talk about more than 2 terms, or 3, 4. Okay, how do you factorize? Okay, let me do question 111B. 2e 5 minus f plus 3f minus 5. Okay, I see almost the same term. Okay, so for this term, by the way, you need to note that this is your first term and this is your second term. So this is a 2 term factorization. Okay, so but this one is slightly different. Okay, how is it different? Okay, this question is they give you 5 minus f here, but over here they give you f minus 5, meaning that you have 5 and f, you also have 5 and f, but they are not the same. In the sense, you have 5, you have minus f, and over here you have f, you have minus 5. So meaning like they are opposite to each other. Okay, they are opposite to each other. I think you wish what? You wish you have this. You wish to have this. So if you have this, simple. 5 minus f, take it out because they are common. So if you do this, you just highlight the common term. Once you take out the common term, you have 2e left, and then you have a plus sign in between, and then you have 3 left. So this is the answer for this after factorization. But the question given is not so easy. The question given is the 5 minus f, and this is f and minus 5. And they are opposite to each other. They're not the same. So you can't say, oh, same term, then take it out. You can't. But for questions for this, you can, because you have a common term, 5 minus f. So now the question is, how do you proceed with this one? Well, they are not the same, but almost the same. Okay, so they're almost the same. They are not exactly the same. So how do you proceed? So you have to learn this technique. Okay, so you have 2e, 5 minus f. So you can actually bring the minus 5. So the minus 5 is here, right? You can bring the minus 5 to the front and then put the f at the back. So at least you reposition them. Okay, why you want to reposition them? Because you want to see the f, you want to see the 5 first and then f later. So at least now you have the 5 first and then f later. So positions wise, they are the same already, but still not exactly the same, because you still have minus f plus f, minus 5 plus f, and over here you have 5 and minus f. They are still not the same. They are still not the same. Position wise, yes, but still not the same. If they are not the same, you cannot say they are common, then take up. No. So therefore you need to make them common. How? So let me continue. So the technique is this. So you have a minus 5 here. So what if you take out the minus sign out of the bracket? You take out the minus out of the bracket. So you still have a 3 times. This is 3 times. So you take out the minus sign. So it's minus out of the bracket. So once you have the minus here, so we are going to end up with 5 inside. Okay. So since you have taken out the minus sign out of the bracket, so you will end up in minus f. Okay, so you can verify this yourself. See if you can get back the above. So the minus sign is out. So first arrow you get minus 5. The minus sign is out. So minus minus for the second arrow is minus minus f. So minus minus f is plus. So do you get back the original? Yes. So if you can get back the original, that means your this taking out of the minus sign is correct. Successful. Okay. If you make a mistake somewhere, you will not get back the original. If you don't get back the original, that means you're wrong. Are you clear? Yeah. Maybe. Okay, good. So let's say you make a mistake. Let's say it's plus. So it's plus. Test if you can get back the original. The original is minus 5 plus f. Okay, let me continue. I made a mistake. So first arrow minus 5. Second arrow minus plus f. So minus plus f is minus. So minus f, minus 5 minus f. Is this the original? Is this the original? No. The original is not minus 5 minus f. The original is minus 5 plus f. So you put a mark plus here, you know that you're wrong. So it has to be minus. Okay. So now we can do one similar questions. So now the minus sign is out of the bracket. So what do you have? For the first arrow, minus 5. What do you have for the second arrow? Minus plus f. So minus plus minus. So you get minus 5 minus f. Okay. So now let me cover the original. So what do you end up with if you take out the minus sign out of the bracket? There are only two possibilities, either 5 plus f or 5 minus f. Right? I mean, this one can go to this or this. One of this is correct. So which one is correct? How do you test? Open the bracket to see which one can give you the minus f and minus 5 and minus f. First arrow, minus 5. Second arrow, minus plus f. So minus plus f, minus f. Oh yeah, so the first one gives you the original. So it means your transformation of this is correct. Let's test the second, if the second one can give us the original. Minus, first arrow, minus 5. Second arrow, minus minus f. So minus minus f is plus f. So can this the second transformation give you the original? The answer is no, because the second one is minus 5 plus f, while you are supposed to get minus 5 and minus f. Are you clear? So are you clear? You can make mistake during the transformation, but you can test it on the spot and to see if you have made a mistake or not. So the correct one will be the first one. If you want to, so it needs to be the, wait, hold on. So you are doing transformation, right? Okay. Just like you are Nancy, you need to be Nancy even after dressing up. Dress up as a nurse, dress up as a student, dress up as a mechanic, dress up as a a principal. You are still Nancy. You cannot somehow, after dressing up, you are somebody else. Okay? So I'm asking you to transform. Let me transform means you want to make it look like something else, but ultimately it still needs to be the same. That's the concept. When we talk about this concept of you can erase your handwriting, please. So when we talk about algebraic manipulation. Okay, the key is I give you 2/3. Okay, ultimately the value has to be 2/3. Okay, but you can like dress it up, you can do anything to it, but the value has to be 2/3. Okay, so let me give you one example. This is the greatest example I always like to give. Probably I can give you the simpler one. The value of this is half. The value of this is 2/3. Okay, how do you do this question? You do this question by changing or making the denominator the same, right? So you do a 3 times, you do a 3 times here, and you do a 2 times here, you do a 2 times here. So what you have done for the first term and the second term is you transform these two into the same denominator. But you try to ask yourself a question. Compare your half to 3/6. Compare your 2/3 to 4/6. Did you change the value or not? No, right? Okay, so when it comes to algebraic manipulation, you can do anything to the number given, but you can't change the value. Okay, you can like just like you can put on a cap. Okay, you can put on a tie. Okay, or you can put on a skirt or many more things, but you are still you. Okay, all right, so you are still you. Okay, so when it comes to algebraic manipulation, you do transformation, but you don't change the value. That's the key. So that's the reason why we are doing transformation here, just to fit our, like somehow once we have done this transformation, and then it's easier for us to combine or split. It's easier for us to proceed, but you cannot change the value. That's the reason why I want you to test on the spot and see if you can get back the original. If you can get back the original, this means transformation without changing the value. Okay, similarly, this one here is transformation without changing the value. Similarly, this is also transformation without changing the value. All right, are you clear? Are you clear? Very good. So in fact, just now what I did for there is a question like this, right? Okay, what I have done is I take out the common factor 2 above, and then I transform 4 to 2 times 2. Whatever I have done, I have not changed the value at all. I transform it to something else so that I can delete, but I have not changed the value along the way. Never. And I end up with this. Okay, so in fact, during in P6, if you have 4/6, this is not the simplest form. So you need to divide by 2, you get 2, divide by 2 here, you get 3. So the simplest answer is 2/3. Okay, so this is the final answer. So what you have done here, right? What you have done here, you are actually transforming the 4/6 without changing the value. Okay, so you have been doing it, but of course nobody tells you, oh, I'm actually doing that. Okay, you have been doing things. Okay, you have been transforming numbers without changing the value, and this is one very good example of it. Simplification. This is another very good example of it. Okay, all right, so good. So back to the question here. Yeah, so over here I take out the minus sign, and then I transform this whole thing into this. Okay, like I say, you can test to see if you have transformed it without changing the value. Okay, so if you have then if you can see you have transformed it without changing the value, then that means you can proceed. Okay, now I think it's easier because why? You have taken out the minus sign, right? So the minus sign is here. You can actually bring it to the front. Okay, it means front, in front of the 3. So next time when you take out the minus sign, it's good that you put it next to the plus. Okay, because the sign is, put the sign together. Okay, plus is the sign, right? You take out the minus sign, so you put the minus sign next to the plus. So in order not to confuse you, so plus and minus. So just not to confuse yourself. So write it clearly, because sometimes the plus can look like a dot, and then you confuse that as a times, then that is a disaster. Okay, right now after the transformation, can you see that you have a common factor? 5 minus f. So once you have a common factor, simple, combine common factor or take out common factor. So once you have taken out the common factor, you're left with 2e, then plus in between. Oh, by the way, before you do the plus, you need to combine this plus minus, you get minus. Okay, so in fact, before I take out the common factor, right? So just now, let me just reverse. Okay, just now I have plus minus. My first step should be simplify the sign first. So plus minus minus. Then only I take out common factor, 5 minus f. So once I have taken out the 5 minus f, 2e left. Minus sign in between, 3 left. So this is the answer for this. Okay, so this is the answer for this. Are you clear? So can you appreciate? Yeah, thanks. Can you appreciate that why you have this 5 minus f and you have this f minus 5? Okay, they look kind of like similar, but not entirely similar. So there is this technique you can do, is to take out the minus so that you can transform it without changing the value into similar term. Okay, the transformation happened somewhere here. Okay, which I've shown you. Okay, so is this recorded? Yes, this is recorded. So you can quickly refer to this. So this is the answer for this question 111B. Okay, the question 111C, right? This question is the ultimate 4 terms. 4 terms. So far we have dealt with 2 terms, right? We have dealt with 2 terms. Yeah, 2 terms. This expansion, 2 terms, first and second. Then 2 terms, 16x minus 4. This is 2 terms, 5px, then plus 45p squared. So meaning, right, when you have 4 terms, what do you think? We have done 2 terms so far. Now I have 4 terms. So what do you think? You do it 2 terms and 2 terms. 4 terms can become what? 2 terms plus 2 terms, right? Does it make sense? So if you have a 4 terms question, if you're asked to factorize, then you do it 2 terms, 2 terms. Let me show you. So what I see AC and I see minus A, okay? I group them, and then I see plus BC minus B. I group these two. Okay? So I have grouped them already. So this is 2 terms. This is 2 terms. So if I have 2 terms, just do it separately, right? How? I see a A is common. By the way, this is A, right? That means it's A times 1. A means A times 1. Okay? So if I give you a C, C is equal to C times C times 1. Okay? It's not C times 0. C times 0 is what? C times 0 is 0. So if I give you C, right? C is equal to C times 1. Okay? So if I give you 5, so it's 5 times 1, not 5 times 0. 5 times 0, we will end up 0. So yeah, just to caution you. So similarly, your B here is B times 1. Okay, so I'm going to simplify things. For the first 2 terms, I see a common factor A. And they are separate by a minus sign. So I put a minus. Okay. So for this one, I left a C. For this one, I'm left with 1. Done. Factorization for the first 2 terms, done. Next, can you see the common factor is B? So take out common factor B. And then you left with a C, split by a minus sign, and then you left with a 1. Are you clear? So far, so good? How I get into this step? So far, so good? Okay, good. So the next step is, can you see that they have common factor? C minus 1. So take out C minus 1. So if you take out C minus 1 with a bracket, so your A is left, B is left, split by a plus. So A is left plus a B. So this is the final answer. Okay, so that's how you do 4 terms. Are you clear? Are you clear? So if you have a 4 terms, do it 2 terms by 2 terms. Okay, good. So now, can you try 112 boy is B? So let me just give you the question, then you can actually do it here. So this is my way of writing Z. So I differentiate my Z from 2 because Z and 2 they looks almost the same if you don't write it clearly. Okay, good. Yeah, time for you to try this out. So this is the 4 terms, so you can actually split it to 2 terms, and do it separately. Okay, go ahead. Try it out on this white canvas. Are you working on it? No, I don't see any response. Yeah, thanks. Probably you want to make full use of manage the space, yeah, so that you don't write out of the box. The jug of water. Yeah, just put. Thanks. Can you manage the space? Okay, no. Okay, let me just give you the entire space. Good. Big enough? Yeah, good. Good. You see an opportunity to factorize further. Yeah. So group the which two terms first? Okay. No, you need to group them first. If you don't group them, then if you are telling me you see a 3y here, and then you see a 3y like after the second term, then you better group them first next to each other. Okay, it's easier. You park them side by side before you do the factorization. Yeah, good. So why I asked you to park them side by side? Because optically, I mean to your eyes, optically it's easier for you to digest. Okay, if you parked it like one term after that, it's harder. I would say it's harder. Let me erase my error. Okay, looks good. Yeah, continue. Start to extract the common factor out. Very good. So the first pair 3y, second pair 2z, or minus 2z, up to you. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. Minus 2z. So fast. I thought you do this one first. You do this one first. Then later you do this one. This is a minus sign. Huh? Right? Hold on, you take out the a, I mean you take out the 3y, what you end up with. So focus your attention should be this one. Okay, don't look at anything at the back. So if you have taken out 3y, what is left? A is left here. If you take out then 3y from the second term, you will end up with the 2b. And then this is split by the minus sign. You can test yourself. You open the bracket, do you get back the original? Yeah, no, so you're wrong. You take out, okay, when you take out the 3y, right, you are actually doing what? You are doing like you erase on, you try to erase your 3y. You can see one. Okay, so let's say you erase, yes, you erase the 3y, correct? Okay, so what you end up with? So what you end up with should be inside the bracket. Simple as that. So you end up with a minus 2b. Then you just put the a minus 2b inside the bracket. Are you clear? Yeah, good. So a minus 2b done for the first this one pair of terms. Next, the second one. Okay, bear in mind, this is a minus 2az plus 2bz. Yeah. So what you decide to take out? So what you decide to take out? 2z, right? I saw the 2z, yes. So take out the 2z and delete the 2z. And delete the 2z. So see what you are left with. So you are left with minus a plus 2b. So that's what you should put inside the bracket. Okay, good. So can you see that there is nothing here? So if there is nothing in front of 2z, what's the default sign? Plus, correct. Good. Continue. Let me get it to the next slide. Can you erase the thing? So I already screenshot your this previous step. Okay, so how you continue from here? Hey, sorry. How you continue from here? Can you see that your a minus 2b and this minus a plus 2b, they are kind of like similar, but not exactly the same. So can you use the technique like take out the minus sign? Can you try to take out the minus sign here? See if you will end up with the same term. If you end up with the same term, then yeah, by the way, you start with the plus. You start with the plus. So you better start with the plus, take out the minus sign, then you put the minus sign behind the plus. Okay, good. So you take out that, then you end up with, you take out the minus sign, you end up with a plus 2b or minus 2b. So it can only be plus and minus. So you have to decide. You start with plus. So you have taken out the minus sign. So do you think you will end up with the same as the plus or minus in the end? So it should be minus. Very good. So therefore you get a minus 2b inside the bracket now. Yeah. Then continue. So can you see that you have common? So change the plus minus to, hold on, plus minus you get plus or minus? Plus minus you get, plus minus you get plus. Okay, plus plus plus, minus minus plus, plus minus minus, minus plus minus. Different sign is minus, same sign is plus. So you should end up with minus. Are you clear now? So what is common? A minus 2b is common.
So take out the a minus 2b. So you take out the a minus 2b, right? It's as good as you erase the a minus 2b. So what you are end up with? Correct. So this is the answer. Okay. But of course, while you are doing this question, the simple concept of this plus plus give you plus, minus minus plus, plus minus, minus plus is minus minus. How do you remember all this? Same sign, different sign. All right? Same signs. This is different signs. Okay, that's how I remember things. I'm not sure about you, but that's how I remember things. Okay, so yeah, so in fact, the 4 terms questions, you have to do it this way. Okay, 4 terms, group them into 2 terms and 2 terms, and then simplify it or factorize it as per normal, like how you simplify the 2 terms and 2 terms. And of course, this is the very key step. You see this a minus 2b and this minus a and plus 2b, they are kind of like similar. The position is the same. I mean, the position, they are the same already, but the signs are different. So if the signs are different, you try to take out the minus sign. Okay, once you take out the minus sign, which is here, once you take out the minus sign, then you will get this. Okay, if you don't get, I mean, you take out the minus sign, you can test, see if you can get back the original. Okay, and see if your transformation, okay, is executed successfully and accurately. Okay, so the very key concept of algebraic manipulation is, we talked about it just now, which is here, is transformation without changing the value. Okay, transformation without changing the value. So this is the very key concept in this algebraic manipulation. Okay, so let's go back to the PDF. So that's how you do the hold on. That's how you do the 4 terms. Okay, so the next 4 terms is this question 113. Have you done this? No, I don't think so. In fact, for this question, like 113, I think I can probably show you one more question on these 4 terms and see if you can how should I put it? There are many ways to approach a question. Okay, let's see if you can learn something from this. Okay, so I have 4 terms, so I just 2 terms plus 2 terms. Okay, so I see 20a minus 4b. Okay, and I also see plus 2bc minus 10ac. Then you must be wondering, right? You must be wondering, hey, why you want to group them as such? Okay, why not you group them like this? Why not you just group them in this order? Why you must go and pick 2a, no, this is 28. Okay, why you must group them, like why you want to bring the minus 4b to the front, and then why you want to bring the minus 10ac to the back? Any such idea by you? The question is this. But why I want to bring the minus 4b in front, and why I want to bring the minus 10ac to the back? No, I mean, okay, hold on. Let's not talk about we can split into 4 times 5a. Okay, let's not talk about how we can transform it first. Why I decide to bring forward the minus 4b and bring backward the minus 10ac. Why? You know why? Okay, what about this? Can I do it this way? Okay, 20a plus 2bc minus 10ac minus 4b. Can I do it this way or not? I think the answer is yes. The answer is yes.
What I'm trying to show you is you can do it in this order, you can do it in this order, you can even do it in this order. It's up to you. It's up to you. Any order, you should end up with the same answer. But why I prefer the second order? Why I prefer this one? Because I like to play with positive number. Okay, because if I do it like I do it this way, I always start with a positive number minus another number. The second pair will be positive number minus a number. Let me show you. Continue. So I have 4 times 5a. Then I have 4b. Then for the back one is 2bc. That's how I split. I have this 2, 5ac. So I have 4 in common, so it's 5a minus b. So for the back is 2c is common. So 2c is common, so I have b minus 5a. Okay, so once I end up with this, very simple, I see that they are almost the same, but not exactly the same. So I use the technique of take out the minus sign. So I will get 5a minus b. So I end up with so plus minus is minus. So it's 4 minus 2a, 5a minus b. This is not the last step. I still see opportunity to take out the 2 and 2 here. So 2 take out. So 2 take out is 2 minus a, 5a minus b. So this is the last, simplest. Are you clear? Okay. Let me show you if I don't rearrange it. Just do it as it is. So let's see how things will turn out differently. I'm not sure, but we can try. So this is 2 times 10a. So this is 10 times ac. So I see a common 10a. So 10a, 2 minus c. And this one is, I can see 2 times 2b. And this is 2bc. So 2b is common. So if I take out 2b, hold on, this is a minus sign, right? So I'm supposed to have 2. So I take out 2b, I have 2 left. So this will give me minus 4b, which is this later. Then I'm supposed to take out 2b, I'm left with c. So plus c or minus c? Let's see. I'm supposed to end up with plus c, plus 2bc. Means I'm supposed to end up with plus 2bc. So this will give me minus 2bc. Okay, good. So I am supposed to change the plus to minus. Yeah, that's it. So once I get this, so 10a minus 2b, 2 minus c. Common factor, I can split this further. 2 times 5. So 2 is common, take out the 2. So it's 5a minus b, 2 minus c. So compare this to the previous. I make a mistake somewhere. Is it 2 minus c or 2 minus a? Let me double check.
Or did I copy the question wrongly? (10a) 2 minus c minus 2bc. Yeah, I make a mistake somewhere here. Let me see. 10dA minus 4b plus 2bc minus 10a 10ac. Okay, good. So, oh, I make a mistake here. Okay, you see, it's very easy to make mistake. It should be 2c here. 2c. I take out the 2c. Yeah. So we're not supposed to be 2a, it's supposed to be 2c. So it should be 2 minus c. So yeah, so the answer should be the same, regardless. Okay, regardless. So it doesn't matter. Okay, by going through these two examples, I mean these two different ways of doing this question, I'm demonstrating to you it doesn't matter how you group them, okay, into two terms. Okay, you should end up with the same answer. So you see, same answer. All right. Okay, you should end up with the same answer. Let me bring it to the front. Yeah, you should end up with the same answer. The order of it at the end is it doesn't matter. Okay, so are you convinced? So how you can do a factorization, and of course, how do you combine fractions? So by the way, this lesson is all about factorization and factorization. You have two terms and then four terms, and then combination of fractions. So we have been talking about these two key concepts for this lesson. Okay. Do you have any other question? Okay, if not, I wish you all the best in your diagnostic test, and let me know after the test. So what kind of questions you get and how do you feel about it? All right, just WhatsApp, WeChat me, please. Okay.